Hi everyone, Radhe Radhe. I hadn't realized this was the last verse. Chapter 5, verse 29 is the last verse of the chapter, so we're going to be doing that today. And from next video, we're going to be doing chapter 6. Yay! Okay, so let us sing this verse and let's go in. And here, in this verse, this is one of those amazing verses, one of those very, very, very clear verses where Bhagwan Shri Krishna says, me, surrender unto me, and those who do that will be liberated. And so it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful verse. Okay, let's sing this together. भोक्तारं यज्ञतपसां सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं सुहृदं सर्वभूतानां ज्ञात्वा मां शान्तिमृच्छति. Okay, and the translation is a person in full consciousness of me, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, the benefactor and well-wisher of all living beings, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Of course, Prabhupada writes all about this. Like, yes, this is all we need, is we need to surrender to Krishna, Bhagwan Shri Krishna. Okay, so Bhoktaram. So this is basically saying when you know me, when somebody knows me, when somebody knows my, who I am, then they attain liberation. So Bhoktaram, the beneficiary, Yagya of all the sacrifices, Tapasam of penances and austerities. So Sarvaloka of all planets. Sarva means all, Loka means planets. So of all planets, like including the demigods planets and all of the higher planets and the lower planets, because there are, I think, 7-8 planets that are lower than us, like Pataloka is the lowest, and then there are many planets which are higher. Before we go to Vaikuntha, before we go to Golok Vrindavan, there's just a lot of different demigod planets, which are planets of enjoyment, which we go when we get good karma, we go there, but then it's much harder to go from there to Golok Vrindavan, because we're enjoying so much, we don't feel the pain and we don't feel the desire to go to God. So this earth is the sweet spot where we feel like Patalok is just too much pain, and we don't, it's difficult to be in bhakti mode or to be in God realization, Krishna self-realization, Krishna realization mode, and that. So earth is like one of the good places. It's a great place to be because we feel enough joy that we're okay. We can choose that if we want material joy, or we can choose to go on the spiritual path because we feel enough pain that we're like, okay, we want out of this. We're done. Please God help me. Please, please, please God help me. Okay, so I digress. So Sarvalok of all planets. So basic on Maha Ishwaram. Maha means big, Ishwar means Lord. So supreme Lord, like big God, big Maha Ishwaram. So the person who knows me, and okay, so it's thus knowing. So gyatva mam. So thus knowing me to be the beneficiary of sacrifices and penances and austerities, tapasya of yagya, knowing me to be the supreme lord of all planets, sarvaloka, all planets, the benefactor, Suhridam, benefactor of all Sarva Bhutanam, living entities. So Sarva again, all, Suhridam, benefactor, and Bhutanam. So knowing me to be the benefactor of all living entities. Shanti. Shanti means peace. Richati, one achieves. That person achieves relief. Okay, from material pangs. That person, Shanti is just peace, but in this case is peace from material, relief from material pangs. So that person achieves. So the person in knowledge of me, gyatva, knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of sacrifices, of tapasya, of penances and austerities, of all of the supreme lord of all planets, the benefactor of all living entities, achieves peace. So here he just goes into Bhakti Yoga and how important it is. It's kind of similar, and here he also says the kind of very similar thing. So Brahma Gyan, knowledge of God, requires the grace of God which comes through devotion. It's like, please, 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 please help me. Help me know you, help me learn to love you. Um, yeah, so it's consummated in surrender with God, knowing that He is the enjoyer of all austerities and sacrifices. Okay, so there's no yoga complete without the inclusion of bhakti, and these are the verses that specifically talk about bhakti. So he says that Sri Krishna beautifully includes all the genuine paths of spiritual practice, but each time at the end he qualifies by stating that success in these paths also require bhakti, and he's given the specific verses which say that like all of these paths are good and it requires bhakti. This is, I think, very, very important. I'll note this down. Okay, that's all for this video. That's all for this verse. That's all for this chapter. We're going to start a new chapter tomorrow. And I wish you all a day filled with tons and tons and tons and tons of spiritual growth. I wish you a day filled with the grace of God so that you can you can build bhakti, you can have bhakti or gyan or whatever path it is to self-realization that you want. I wish you the very best in all of that and a day filled with just lots and lots of growth. Um, Radhe Radhe.